Yeah, CT, get your hands up. It's the M-Town representatives, Project P, Renzo, Pat G, Hood Phillies. I got a honey Dutch full of dro. Shit, I'm from CT. I'm from CT. Hitting back roads in the lag. Cause I'm from CT. I'm from CT. Making paper ain't a problem, man. Flipping bricks is easy. Bricks is easy. If you got a problem with it, boy, you can find me in CT. Find me in CT. And this is how we back in the lax out crack. Watching everybody winning cause they know the boss man is back. Going 2 miles per hour so everybody sees you. The tints are so dark so nobody can see through. Nope, we stacking paper, man. You better listen up. In M-Town, we cock back, we ain't playing, bruh. So if you wanna waste my time, I'll leave you hanging like you got 10 yards left, and it's the 4th dime. And it's the anthem, homie, everybody singing. And if you're from the outskirts, then you better bring it. Bring it, boy. I'm repping the south side where people go to buck if you're trying to waste my time. We slanging weed and coke, we got our cheese and notes. We riding clean on spokes, it's 860. While you riding around in a rental, I'm cruising in the Fleetwood, repping the mental,
I
bitch.
know 100 niggas flipping bricks. Yes, I'm from CT. Talk shit, then we gonna grip clips. Getting guns is easy. Hood Philly is running shit. Nigga, please believe me. I know 100 niggas flipping bricks. It's the kid. Yes, I'm from CT. And this is how we roll. Niggas hating, waiting for me to make a mistake. I fell back with the rap, said I was taking a break. Like Alexander on tracks, they say that I'm great. I spit venom, besides that, can't relate with the snakes. With a statement to make, you could be the witness, man. So dope, Whitney and Bobby are probably my biggest fans. You can get murked with the heat, from the port to the beat. It's for everyone that work in the streets. And I ain't talking a construction site. I'm talking about chucking the white, getting not clutching the kite. No food on your plate, so it's nothing to fight. Only escape from this place is abduction of light. Yeah, it gets crazy, boy. Renzo's an 80s boy. And I put you on your ass like a lazy boy. This is for everybody that sleep in the slums. Aim for the stars like you got beef with the sun.
I got 100 niggas on the strip. Nigga, I'm from CT. I'm from CT. And my niggas got A's for 5, so please come and see me. Come and see me. If the niggas want the mixtape, Renzo got CD. Renzo got CD. And
Pat G, nigga, Renzo be the kid, nigga. Yo,
and see how
I'm from
we
the
do.
home of the brave, the land of the beat, where young niggas flip grams so they fam can eat. And the fiends always jam the streets, but if you make a play in the wrong hood, nigga, rest in peace. Little kids gotta play in the house, and these chicks don't carry no clips, but a blade stay in their mouth. And these niggas don't play nice. My man, brother, got his brains blown out in broad daylight. So you visit, better come with the proper respect, or go home with a shot in the neck from the Glock of the Tech. Albany ass serve the best food. You can find a smoke with a butt and get a cut too, yeah. Niggas chop bricks like Kung Fu on the block all night, grinding like the bums do. M-Town, East Beat, Dirty Water, Bridge B, New Haven, be the 5 boroughs of CT.
I know 100 niggas flipping bricks. Yes, I'm from CT.
And my nigga got A's for 5, so please come and see me.
Hood Philly is running shit. Nigga, please believe me.
And if you really wanna know where we from, take a trip to CT and see how we do.
Renzo the kid,
Project P,
Pat G,
and Hood Phillies.
shout out to the whole CT, man.
New Haven,
Hard
South
hitting.
C,
You know,
all my niggas out there.
mental,
All
Mental.
Heartbeat all day, my nigga.
T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
In a world full of mundane podcasts, one show rises from the ashes. Critics are calling it outrageous. Podcasts, as we know it, will never be the same again.
Crazy, crazy, crazy. Welcome to the show.
Tonight, prepare for an epic journey where every step could be your last. The destination, a place where no maps can show. The mission, to rise above the rest. The danger, unimaginable. The reward, a shit ton of weed and laughs. It's going to blow your mind. This is 2B Bloods. So sit back, turn up the volume, grab your weed, get ready to light those bloods.
That's right. You are tuned in to the highest podcast around, the one, the only, 2B Blunt, the highest pot, the hottest spot to be every single Thursday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, brought to you by the PartyCast Network, where the fun starts here, and brought to you by PodConX, the biggest cannabis, all cannabis podcast network. Check them out, PodConX.com. Tonight, we're going to raise the roof. Tonight, we might hurt some feelings. Tonight, we're going to speak the truth. We're going to spit some facts. I am joined by the lovely ladies, Anna and V, of True Social Equity in Cannabis. Tonight, 7:30 p.m. Don't go anywhere. Also joining us, show member Lou Rinaldi, a resident expert on all policies here in Connecticut. And it's about to go down. I am so fucking fired up for tonight. I've been talking about this show for 2 weeks. 2 whole weeks. Because I have been so pumped up after seeing these ladies go ham. Ham. And for all you don't know, that's hard as a motherfucker. That's right, Audie. Big Lou Dog is in the building. We got a whole bunch of other shit we're going to cover. We got to talk about this crazy week, this crazy motherfucking day I've had. You know I love to do my ranting. We're going to smoke some blunts, so make sure you got your weed, your concentrates, your edibles. However it is you like to consume cannabis, let it be known it's time to grab that shit now, because we about to light them bitches up. And the chat's already popping. Ganja Girls, Lucy Roman, Aqua Ginger, Hazel Days, Waverilla, 190 Proud. I see you, Audie, in the house. Chelsea's in the house. Miss Fire, Strain Kings. It's going down, the highest podcast around. It's 2B Blunt. Fuck yeah, you already know how it goes. I'm fired up today, baby. I have been waiting for 2 fucking weeks, and I see Lou laughing backstage in the lobby. He's sitting there laughing at me because he knows I get all fired up like this is WrestleMania or some shit. But it almost, in a way, feels like WrestleMania because tonight's guests, all right, they like to bring the heat. They do not hold back. They spit the facts. So I am excited because True Social Equity in Cannabis is the topic for tonight. The topic which has been plaguing Connecticut and as far out all the way to the West Coast and back. So we're going to talk more about that. But before we go any further, it's time for my favorite part of the show and yours, the ceremonial lighting of the blunt. Yeah, ho. Yeah, ho. It's going down. Tonight, King Palm Loaded. I got a little tag and Dutch here from Rexy, my boy. That's tagalongs crossed with Dutch chocolate cake, baby. Ooh, it's like fucking dessert. Nothing gets me more hyped than some tagalongs from the Girl Scouts. That's my favorite fucking Girl Scout cookie. You can put that shit on paper. That's fucking legit. King Palms loaded. You already know the deal. Grab your weed, grab your concentrates, grab your edibles, and get ready to smoke it if you got it. Nothing like lighting that blunt, Leo. Let me tell you. Nothing like lighting the blunt. Cookies and cream from Rexy's my favorite. It's in your papers. Oh, you're smoking that shit now. There you go. A fellow Rexy Meds connoisseur. Man. That's a good ass blunt. Woo! That's that Ric Flair drip. God damn. About to stuff a cone because I'm lazy. Bruh, King Pops, you stuff them bitches. You ain't got to roll shit. The best part about King Pop. You already know. I murdered myself on some diamonds. Ha! Ha! Yeah, every time I start the show with a dab, it goes downhill. So I like to save that for the end of the show. Your boy's not equipped to handle that shit. NH Canada Patient, what's good? BLMA 60, what's good? Yo. So, exciting news. 420 Cali time, exactly. Smoke that shit, Hazel, you know. I got smoke tree in the bongo. I don't know what that means, but okay. I got smoke tree in the bongo. So you already know I got some news. I got some good news, right? Y'all know I just bought a house. Just got the new house. We're in the new studio. Which is dope. Today, well, this week, I should say, I purchased a new fucking car, which I'm really, really excited about, I gotta say, because, you know, I've only driven literally buckets my entire life. I don't ride clean. I've never had anything fresh. I've always driven shitty cars or hand-me-downs, and you know, my current car is a 06 RAV4 that had 238,000 miles on it that I've just been pushing and smoking in forever, yo, running that bitch to the ground. But why is the process for buying a fucking car so hard? The actual purchase of the car was the easy part, right? As soon as I seen the car, I was excited. I got a motherfucking Subaru Accent Touring. It's fully fucking loaded. It's got every fucking bell and whistle you could ever fucking think of. I never even thought I'd get a Subaru in my lifetime. I seen this bitch, and I opened it up, and it was like fucking a luxury vehicle on the inside. I was hooked. So I get the car. I tell the guy I'm going to buy the fucking car, right? And so first off, it's like, you know, the 30th of the month, and this dude is pushing. He's pushing because month end, he's trying to get that fucking sale in. I'm like, all right, that's cool. You already know. I'm down for this. So he tells me he's going to bring the car, you know, the car over. He's going to bring the paperwork over, sign the paperwork. He brought it right to my house. Shit was great. Only problem was, town of Middletown says, you got to pay your taxes. I got a tax payment back from the last payment I didn't pay yet. I'm like, no big deal. Went online that night. I paid that shit online. Right? So you think it'd be good. So next day, wake up, looking at the fucking website, still shows I got tax pay. I'm like, what the fuck? How's this fucking possible? So I call the town. And this fucking no good, rude ass bitch answers the phone. And I'm like, hi, my name's so-and-so. I'm looking to register a new car. So I paid my taxes last night, and I'm wondering why it hasn't cleared yet. And before I could even literally finish the sentence, this chick cuts me off, and she was like, well, sir, did you read the disclaimer? A disclaimer? First of all, who the fuck reads the disclaimers online? I have never popped up one disclaimer on anything I've ever signed up for or paid where I read that shit. You scroll to the bottom, you click accept, and it's gone. No one reads the fucking disclaimer. Well, she's like, well, if you did, then you would know that it takes 3 days to clear. And then she gave me more shit, and then I got pissed, and then she hung up in my fucking face. She hung up in my fucking face, literally the town hall. Just hangs up on me. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? So I'm pissed off, right? So I hit up the fucking dealer, my sales agent, and I'm like, bruh, they telling me 3 business days. Now I paid Tuesday. That's Wednesday. That's Thursday. That's Friday. By Friday the last day. So now I'm thinking it's going to be fucking Tuesday by the time I even get the car because it's a holiday weekend, right? And so the business days are out. No one's there Monday. The guy told me he wasn't even going to be in Friday, the sales agent, because it's like a holiday. I was like, are you fucking kidding me, yo? So I'm calling the DMV. I'm calling the town hall. I'm raising all fucking hell. I'm calling every other department to see if someone can push this clear because I woke up today and it said it was paid, but DMV still says it's delinquent. So here I am now pissed and confused. Now, I want to shout out Meriden Hyundai. All right, Meriden Hyundai, where I bought my car. Because these motherfuckers went above and beyond. They threw 4 fucking sets of tires on my car for free. Brand new tires. Fucking cleaned that bitch. It's fresh as fuck. Brought it to my fucking house. And they were honestly nice enough that they hooked me up. They put a dealer plate on the car, brought it over today, and they were like, just keep it until we can register it and bring it back and we'll change the plates. And I was just like, thank fucking God. These people, they work these government jobs, these state jobs, these city jobs. They're fucking useless and rude, mean as fuck. I'm a stoner. I'm not trying to deal with your bitch ass attitude. So shout out Meriden Hyundai for hooking it up because honestly, I was fucking stressed as fuck all fucking day. But nope, dude showed up today, hooked me up right in my driveway. Brand new black 2019 Subaru Ascent Touring, like 33,000 miles on it. Bam. Bam. Someone said Subaru gang. I never thought I'd be part of the club, honestly. I was looking at Kia, Hyundai, Toyota, Nissan. Never once was I like, oh, let me get a fucking Subaru. Nope. Yet here I am now, going nuts. So you already know. I just wanted to say thank you because honestly, I was kind of stressed the fuck out. Phone lines are open, 860-384-7110. Feel free to tell me your shitty car buying experience. Awkward Junior said she's about to start the house buying process. Yeah, good fucking luck. That's a fucking process and a half. I just did that shit. It's stressful as fuck. Buying a house is one of like the most stressful things you could ever fucking do. So make sure you got a lot of weed for that shit. Hazel, it's literally her job to tell you information. Yeah, you would think so. You would think so, but nope. They wouldn't help me at all. So bullshit. But the dealership took care of it. I'm happy as shit. We are fucking 3 minutes away from 7:30. It's almost going to be time for True Social Equity and Cannabis and my buddy Lou Rinaldi up in the house. Anna and V are going to be here joining us. I'm really fucking excited. Make sure you guys, if you're like me and you put your blunt down and that shit went out because you were fucking talking hella shit, then make sure you tune in and don't go nowhere. Don't go nowhere. This fucking beat gets me going. I'm all fucking ready. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, the business is about to pick up. So don't go anywhere. It's To Be Blunt with Peezy.
God damn it. Damn, man. See, I'm the type that wakes up in the fucking morning, right? And just smoke a whole fucking eight to the face. A whole lady. Be high all motherfucking morning. Well, that sounds like my kind of day too, you know. Cause I don't know what the fuck my life is gonna bring me today. True. You never know if you're gonna live or you're gonna die. True. So I'm gonna smoke every motherfucking day. Man, pass that shit to me. It doesn't matter to me. Cause I'm a high motherfucker. Already. Yeah.
Straight out of Diamond Style Productions.
Man, I'm high as hell. Man, I'm high as hell. Man, I'm high as hell. Man, I'm high as hell.
I love to smoke weed. I love to smoke weed. I love to smoke weed. I love to smoke weed.
Man, I'm high as hell.
Get high.
Man, I'm high as hell.
Get high.
Man, I'm high as hell.
Get high.
Man, I'm high as hell.
Get
I
high.
love to smoke weed. I love to smoke weed. I love to smoke weed. I love to smoke weed.
Let go. It's me riding my dick. I'll be back on the block and I'm sipping the fit. You cut to me, I'll be flipping the bricks. I think it's sales and I'm leaving you hit. I'll be the problem. You gotta solve this. Like in the weed, oh, I would've tossed. It better be handy, so hydro or kush. Anything less will I promise don't push. Light up, you got a problem on the back on the scene. Put that green in the sit codeine. I'm loving that purple like I'm married to the bitch. And I'll flip a few times, then I'm gonna have to switch. Oh my, so high, then I'm gonna have to sit. I take a few hits and I'm back to the shit. I don't ever quit cause I know they miss. I love that weed, so I'm gonna have to spit. How else am I gonna sort of hold my habit? Without this green, I'll be back to like a rabbit. Keep on feels bottled up inside. Put them on paper, that's how I survive. Running this shit, business and shit. I got the monkeys, made us so hit. Sipping some beer and some vodka, that's it. Made us so high, made us so lit.
Man, I'm high as hell. Man, I'm high as hell. Man, I'm high as hell. Man, I'm high as hell.
I love to smoke weed. I love to smoke weed. I love to smoke weed. I love to smoke weed.
Man, I'm high as hell.
Get high.
Man, I'm high as hell.
Get high.
Man, I'm high as hell.
Get high.
Man, I'm high as hell.
Get
I
high.
love to smoke weed. I love to smoke weed. I love to smoke weed. I love to smoke weed.
Man, I'm high as hell. Man, I'm high as hell. Man, I'm high as hell. Man, I'm high as hell.
I love to smoke weed. I love to smoke weed. I love to smoke weed. I love to smoke
Let go. So if be loving my shit because all that I bring will be shit that's legit. I don't deceive no sense in no sticks. Just give me a Dutch and I roll it up thick. Let it on fire, then on my path, they definitely go hold it up to collapse. They can't see a thing, but man, now it don't matter. I'm only here to take records and shatter. Yeah, man, I'm so high. There's so many hits. I'm like Superman because I'm flying in this bitch. And I can never stop. I just keep on packing. Pump, pass, don't keep on rapping. And I can never stand for the he say, she say, bullshit. People get us spitting that hearsay, stroke their style, and handle it my way. Bust out my jars on the purples in Bombay. My boss is dude. Call them big the bomb ski. We getting fried. And then we very hungry. 2 hits from the butt, then you pass it. Oh man, now you're blasting.
Man, I'm high as hell. Man, I'm high as hell. Man, I'm high as hell. Man, I'm high as hell.
I love to smoke weed. I love to smoke weed. I love to smoke weed. I love to smoke weed.
Man, I'm high as hell.
Get high.
Man, I'm high as hell.
Get high.
Man, I'm high as hell.
Get high.
Man, I'm high as hell.
Get
I
high.
love to smoke weed. I love to smoke weed. I love to smoke weed. I love to smoke weed.
Man, I'm high as hell. Man, I'm high as hell. Man, I'm high as hell. Man, I'm high as hell.
I love to smoke weed. I love to smoke weed. I love to smoke weed. I love to smoke weed.
With a dope bass you ever heard.
We're rolling the fattest bloods. It's to be blunt with Peezy.
To Be Blunt Podcast, we are back. It's time. It's time for the main event. I am joined today by 3 fabulous guests to discuss a topic that's been plaguing the nation, and that is social equity in cannabis. From True Social Equity in Cannabis, it's Anna Rose.
Hey.
House to add you guys in. And of course, joining in also, my man, resident expert Lou Rinaldi in the house. I gotta say, I just want to say one thing. And that is, hey, what's up? What's up? Peace and love right back to you. I am very excited because I have been dreaming about this night getting the four of you, or the four of us, I should say, together for this event. Yes, because a topic that's been a constant thing on this show, which is social equity in Connecticut, which has been a total shit show, as you guys already know. We're going to talk more about that as we go on. And Lou has been, for the most part, documenting all of the shit happening in Connecticut and putting the info out there. And then, getting attacked in the meantime by the people who are, guilty, the guilty party, we should say. And the man got off of Instagram. He's been on Twitter now. You can find him on CTMMP Data on Twitter, his new account. Check him out. And welcome to the show. And to start with that, how you guys doing today?
Crazy day, but I'm smoking some green, trying to be chill. We had some meetings earlier. Vi's on the move like always.
Always. Hello, y'all. Peace and love.
You guys are always,
it don't stop.
you guys are always making a lot of moves. You got a lot of events coming up. There's a big nationwide protest you guys have been promoting that a lot of people I know in the state are going to be taking part of also. Let's talk more about that. Why don't you tell me about this, the corporate cannabis not protest, but boycott?
I mean, we've been boycotting for 3 years in Illinois and Chicago. So, I mean, it's not new, but it's relatively new that like we were finding our people throughout the country to, really come together and
unify. Really, it's about unification, and so that we can stand together and raise the awareness of the global injustices that are going on within the culture and the industry that has been created within this space of medicinal wellness. This is one of the first times that, we've all actually been able to band together under one common or a few common things that we're pushing, which is decriminalization globally, as well as freedom and amnesty for all, as well as home grow for all without any limits, restrictions, or anything like that. And True Social Equity in Cannabis actually attempted to do this before, and we had a few states that said that they were willing to unify. It only ended up being a handful, but at the end of the day, when you're talking about creating the improvement to the movement, it's steps to get there. And as long as we can find the commonality and the unity within it, we're making great progress.
Well,
Yeah.
like on that, Anna?
I mean, I'm so ready for this again because there's been a lull in protesting. And I mean, I protest every time I speak. Like, my wife is tired of talking about this shit. Can we talk? Can we curse on here?
Absolutely. Oh no. Yes. This is not. There's no.
This is not PG-13, is it?
Yeah. No. This is not
PG.
No. This is
no FCC violation.
no.
I got in trouble last time, like 4 or 5 times. I got in trouble for saying fuck, probably.
Yeah. No. You can say fuck as much as you want on here. I fucking love it.
Okay, great.
I love it because I'm an ex-sailor, so I have that military cursing going on.
Oh, thank you for your service.
What were you saying, Anna?
I saw you guys on.
Wait, can I cut you off for a second? Because you've said cut you off. You've said guys like 4 times, and I'm trying to get people to change their vocabulary from you guys because I don't identify as a guy.
You can say gals.
I'm from originally Houston, Texas, and we say y'all or yeah.
I like y'all. I'm sorry. I appreciate you letting me know before I kept doing it. Also,
I'd be counting, and I'd be like, "Fuck, I gotta say something at some point." So,
I know you don't hold back either when it comes to that because, like I was about to say, I saw you on another show here in Connecticut, which I'm not gonna actually name right now. And this is why we're all laughing about the
You
FCC.
guys already know what show he's talking about.
No, if you don't know.
We'll put it out there. You guys were on Cannabis Corner with Joe the Weed Guy, and I saw
Nice.
Nice guy, of course. Joe's nice, but I saw y'all out there on the show, and you definitely did not hold back. And I think that is one of the things that I really appreciated about your appearance on that show that made me even more want to get you guys on, because this show is called To Be Blunt, and y'all are blunt as fuck, right?
Period. Because if we don't ruffle any feathers, then we're not doing our job to making sure that we're creating the actual change that we want to see.
So we have this issue with social equity. Now, I mean, as y'all already know, pardon me for correct myself here. Y'all already know Connecticut, we just had a whole thing about voting for licenses for social equity applicants. And I think anything that did went out was to
my eye is twitching right now.
A corporate or somebody tied in with corporate or MSO, right? And this is the bullshit that's happening across the country. They're trying to lock it down so that they're going to get, all the profits. They're going to control what they think is an industry, which really is not an industry. As we all know, this is not, I don't think cannabis should be thought of as an industry, because it's really not. It's medicine, it's a plant, it grows naturally. But for whatever
I have two
reason,
different views about that, actually. So I'll
let me hear that.
I agree with you. Get along.
Go right in. Go right ahead.
So at the end of the day, the reason why that there's an industry that has been created, because it is a renewable resource. And we forget about the renewable resource of the plant, and we focus on the medicinal aspect of it when we're talking about, which is why everyone only has on their tongue cultivation and retail or infusion. And at the end of the day, this is a renewable resource that can actually sustain a society and an economy. So that's why there's an industry, because it's an industry of industries. We're just being pigeonholed so that we don't actually utilize that and see that to actually benefit the world and the people in it. And it's being conglomerized and monopolized by a very few.
And that's the problem, though. It's the very few that are benefiting from this. And now you have all these people who tried to get applications and spend an absurd amount of money.
My group spent $110,000 applying.
$110,000? Are you fucking serious?
A lot of work.
And that's
Lou, what was the price here?
What?
Lou, what was the price here for the license?
No, that was the amount of money my group put in to apply, because it's not just about applying for a license and the cost of that. It's also all of the other specialty stuff that you need to write this dissertation to fucking sell weed. Like, it's ridiculous.
The service is cutting up a little bit.
Oh,
that's a lot of money still to be putting towards something that is almost unattainable with the way they're running. I mean, Lou, I was asking Lou, what was the price for a year for that? What were they charging people for an application here?
Well, for retail, if you just want to pay to play, it was $3 million, and if you did equity joint venture, then it was $1.5 million. That's just for the retail license.
Wow.
That's
crazy.
A ton of money. That is way more than the 100,000.
Connecticut is ridiculous.
What? This is what I'm saying, though. This is how they get you. No one can honestly say I got 1.5 mil laying around, so I can apply to get into this.
Nor do you need all of that to do what needs to happen to help heal people. This is just people trying to make different kinds of jobs and regulations and like barriers to just the natural way that has been occurring, which is helping people, a person helping a person with a plant and living with it,
Absolutely.
Sorry.
So the lottery process, I think, was actually separate from that, and that the fee was a lot lower, but still, it's like non-refundable, and that's no limitations to number of times that you could enter the lottery. So it's very, very much populating a slush fund. I mean, that's clearly, and they're going to do a second round of the lottery before the end of the year because they saw how successful it was the first time. So naturally, they want to keep that momentum going. And one very concerning thing that was getting discussed recently Box Brown, who I'm sure a lot of folks know, fabulous artist and comic creator out of Philly, was talking about how when there's delays in adult use market rollouts, it benefits, it extreme tilts the advantage toward existing operators. So operators who have already been involved in, say, the medical side of things are the ones who benefit from these delays, these inherent delays, like what just got announced in New York now, where they said it's going to be significantly longer of a time frame than they had previously stated. And Connecticut too. Connecticut just hasn't come right out and said it yet, but I think they typically will react to things that neighboring states do. In this case, New York. So I expect that we're going to hear pretty soon.
New York hasn't taken applications from people though, so they haven't started like making money off of this, where Connecticut and other states have made money. I think New York, by pushing the time frame to figure out how to do this, is a smart move, because as we've seen from other states, you don't want to just push forward to get something done, because it just messes everything up in the long run. And Vi taught me that, like, first time I met her. She was like, no, we need to scratch it and burn it and start over. And I was like, no, we can, like, they're saying that we could do this and this. And I supported that for like 2 years. And I was like, no. I finally saw Vi was fucking right. We got to burn it down, start it over.
And the reason why is because it's always easier to learn the first time versus to undo things. Unlearning is hard for people in their normal lives and just how it is that they want to elevate and grow as humans, let alone try to implement that into some business practices from an industry that has never been created before.
That's a good point.
Everywhere is having problems. Every state. That's why we're coming together for this multi-state rally, to really unify our voices and say, we're not the industry that you're seeing in the tabloids, and you're not the industry that is frankly being on all of the cannabis, like, it's this fake industry, this facade that's being made, and it's not okay.
Well, that's what industry kind of breeds at the same time. When you look at big pharma, when you look at big tobacco, when you look at all of these big corporatized companies, that's how industry has been created. It's been created through monopolization. That's why you have Walmart. That's why you have Facebook. That's why you have Google. And soon it will be a Cresco and a Keurig.
Oh, you won't let it.
And exactly, and that's and at the core of it, it was to replenish and to really address the wrongs that carried over from the war on drugs, aka the war on blacks. And at the end of the day, we haven't really seen that address that in any way that's beneficial to the communities that have really suffered the injustice of even the prohibition of this.
That's a very good point. Very good point. And it almost, they really hype you up. And this is the thing that gets me. I'm stuttering right through my thing. They hype you up. They get you to believe that you have a shot at this. When they first talked about going rec here in Connecticut, I'm sure the same thing for you guys in Illinois when your government was discussing they were going to handle the situation. They have you thinking that, hey, you know what? I really have a shot of getting into something that I love. And you have all these people who all love this plant so much and all things they can do that they desperately want to make it part of their life and not just in a way of consuming it. Like, they want to actually get into it because they love it.
Because it should be a free market, and they should be able to do whatever we want with the plant.
The free market is a very interesting idea. See, I think that would be way better than what's going on now. But it's not a free market by any means, and I don't think.
No. And what I don't think gets talked about enough is, there's all this talk of potentially accelerated federal legalization because of the midterms or whatnot. Mm-hmm. I think regardless of the time frame there, the important thing is how cannabis gets classified and whether or not it's rescheduled or descheduled, because I think the single biggest linchpin of the whole thing is if it doesn't get classified as an agricultural commodity, if it doesn't get, if the plant specifically doesn't get classified as agriculture, then it gets classified as pharmaceutical. And that opens the door for national scale regulatory capture, like what we see, in Illinois
and
what
big
we see in
cannabis, just
Connecticut.
like we have big pharma and big tobacco, we're watching big cannabis occur. And that's one of the things that banding together and unifying and writing the legislation and going to Washington and really demanding the things that we unify on can hopefully change that and make sure that at least as we the people, our voices are uplifted and heard about the injustices that are going on, because people are needing this, and so does the fucking economy. If we can do NFTs, we can definitely free the people that keep being locked up for cannabis and grow the plant however the hell we want it. We got digital marketplaces going on, for God's sake.
Right. I wanna address what you said, because we actually spoke to two people who applied in Illinois, both won licenses through weird circumstances and connections and but I think they're OGs. I believe they're OGs, and they're super excited about New York and getting into New York. And I had to be whoa, you have to really see, are they going to do the right? So I'm glad. I actually didn't hear that they're taking their time. I hope that's not a real thing as opposed to a distraction, which people should look out for.
It all comes down to the black and white at the end of the day, and what gets passed in legislation. And that's why it's very important to get into utilizing your voice on a legislative way and get into being the people's voice to lobbying, not necessarily having to pay a lobbyist. Show up to your city council meetings, get to know your aldermen, find out the bills that are there, that are on the table, so that you can either lift your voice to say yay or lift your voice to say fuck that shit, because that's not benefiting the community, the plant, or the people that are currently being locked out.
Yeah, and the politicians, we need to hold on the same level of regard, in my opinion, because they need to show that they actually are listening instead of just saying that they're, just giving us lip talk. It's ridiculous. And we need to step into those roles too. So if you're interested in running somewhere throughout the country, we have a list going of people interested. And we are going to support you as we the people, and we'll get on the same ethical connection first. Make sure we're all in alignment.
Right, same page.
But for us, it's easy. Free the people, free the plant.
Lou, that'd be a great gig for you. I think maybe you should run.
add that to what I've been dealing with. I don't know, man. I don't know if I need the noise.
You would be great for the role. I'm just putting it out there, dude. I think you'd have a lot of people behind you.
Yeah, it's definitely something I had considered. What I think is probably more imminently impactful in the nearer term is I like seeing more and more people finding their voice. I like hearing from folks who maybe have been kind of keeping it low or kind of staying on the sidelines, who have finally been deciding, enough is enough, with a lot of the information we've been learning lately and a lot of the feedback that we've been hearing from what goes on in these MSO, cultivation facilities. It's nice to hear that people are starting to speak up and starting to make their voices heard. I would encourage, if you know someone who's kind of on the fence about it, talk to them and just let them know, there's options for them if they want to be able to communicate that, safely and securely to the news media. There's many ways to do that. I can certainly help with that. It's something that we do pretty frequently, that we've been hearing from a lot of folks lately. So
on Instagram, can you please come back? Not my thing.
I did put it back, but I'm gonna not be, doing a whole lot. I think I need to I need to kind of, have certain boundaries and kind of protect my peace and, stay focused on where I need to be investing effort, where I'm going to get the most return for patients.
Okay. Glad you added that part.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
not trying to make anything off of it myself.
Dude, of course not. We know.
You should be able
to run for governors.
You should be able to. It should be legal for you to not need a license and help people get their medicine. I'm sorry.
Right back to the free market point, right? But how do we even achieve to get to there? That's a long run. How can we honestly? What are the steps we need to take? I mean, right now we're struggling just at the state level, right? Because first off, you got all these politicians. You don't know who to trust. You don't know who's tied to what MSOs, or who's got the corporate money coming in on the back that's influencing their votes. And that shit happens all the time. That's not just a movie shit. I'm telling you, this shit happens. Lewis, as you definitely have pointed out, plenty of people who had ties to MSOs, throughout your tenure on Instagram. And that is the thing I'm wondering is if it wasn't for someone like Lou, right? And we didn't know what politician you could trust, what can we do to achieve, at least on a state level, and get a start, right? And get a start towards the right direction, true social equity. What could we do? What would be the plan?
Well, if you're good at reading, read the bills and be on their asses about not changing them. I'm not particularly good at reading, so I do it through art, documenting people and interviewing people's perspective and trying to push out the progressive perspective. I mean, open market, I don't think is very progressive in my opinion, but to everybody else, it's oh my God, what did you say? I don't know how to capitalize on that. It's a plant. Let people grow it and let people help other people heal themselves by making some commerce on it and let them pay a 10% tax and everybody's happy. The government makes way more money because they're getting more taxes from a lot more people that are just willy-nillying it. It's a weird word.
Anna Rose speaks the truth.
Right? Prime example. I got a lady right down the street from my house. She's got a whole stand set up at the end of her driveway, and they literally have fresh garlic that they grow. They set up in there with a little sign that's $5 a bundle.
Yes,
right? We should be able to do that shit with weed, right?
And other medicines that are plant-based.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah, I think the way that, to answer your question, Peezy, I think the way that we get there from here is, I think it comes down to a compromise that's going to allow, both. Well, I guess what I'm saying is if the alternative is to completely slash and burn and build it back up, that is absolutely a multi-year, attrition in state legislature kind of effort. If the option in Connecticut is let's add a caregiver tier to the existing adult use market structure, maybe that's something that can be explored as a bolt-on, at least as a means of, temporarily allowing for something like the ideal that you described. Pardon?
I'm sorry. I'm seeing a comment and I'm reacting, and I know that's weird. Sorry.
No, I was gonna bring it up when he was done talking, anyways.
Oh, my bad.
Oh, it's okay. All right, it's all good. Louis, you good?
No, I'm just reading the comment too. No.
I want to get your thoughts on this because I don't know if demands and protests, right, are working. At least not here in Connecticut because
there is no commission. There is no commission.
There's no commission. Okay, here we go. There's the thing.
So in other states, using Massachusetts as an example, because we love to copy Massachusetts, they have a cannabis control commission. Other states have a cannabis regulatory commission or similarly named entity that is a specific dedicated to cannabis
the
regulation,
oversight and governance.
Yes, but they don't.
However, most of them don't do that. And in Illinois, a lot of them have actually resigned. And the governor has yet to even appoint, which why are they the ones in charge of appointing? You know, who's even addressing that? And that's one of the reasons why I say we have to go back to the beginning, because from the beginning, utilizing politicians that are not even from the culture in order to create and draft what a compliance system looks like, not regulatory, where it holds restrictions, but it holds safe and adequate ability in order to do commerce, right, around this plant, is missing. And then from the other side of that, the distribution from the revenue of that and where it goes and to whom it affects and how it affects the system in a positive way, that's also missing. But then who's there in order to oversee either one? No one.
Nobody.
Yeah. Well, the ones who are there to oversee it are already captured and are not going to be able, are not going to move the thing in a direction that their handlers have not approved. So that's I think the important thing that we have to do if we're talking about changing legislation is we have to build more feedback loops, more actionable feedback loops into these laws and into these regulations. The Connecticut medical program is a great example of patients having absolutely no voice in their own program. There's no feedback mechanism other than filing a formal complaint with DCP, which isn't a publicly visible thing anyway. That's not a searchable thing. You can't look those up online. They go into the cylindrical filing cabinet. So I think when you have a structure that's set up in a sort of traditional authoritative command and control structure where it's, we know what's best for you. The structure is, it's read only. We're not looking for your feedback. We're telling you how it's going to be, because that's what we have to do to placate the latent prohibitionist mindset in so many of these boomers out here in Connecticut.
That's what we have to do to them. That's exactly what we have to do to them.
Well, and what I will say is that, I mean, and that's actually where the relationship between who you elect and your role as a citizen comes into play, because that's the prime example of how it is that we can go back to putting the respect into our voting system and utilizing our voices to actually show up, not only just to bitch about it, but to actually do something about it and unify with other organizations that are doing the work so that the voices can be lifted to create the bills that we want to see. We create it, they enforce it. We create it as the people, they enforce it. And in some way, somehow, we've allowed them to create it, which isn't occurring, as well as to enforce it, which also isn't occurring. Why wait for them to do what it is that we know how to do for ourselves? Just what they need to do is just move the fuck out the way.
That part. Yes.
Where's the lie?
Damn, you got the applause, Vi.
Hell yeah.
Hey.
Yo, I like that. Get the fuck out of the way. That's a fucking t-shirt right there.
And also, there's a divide. There's a lot of divides, but there's a divide right now that is hurting us. And I think we could come together on the 3 demands that we're currently discussing: decriminalization, freedom and amnesty for all, and home grow for all. And even though we've had differences in the past, and some people, in my opinion, are out to get theirs, which is not okay, because this is about overall what's going to happen with these amazing plants that are helping us heal the world. And we need to be healed, people. I know you feel that. Sorry to feel myself. Hold on. I'm going to light some energy sage. See this, but I'm lighting, and I'm just gonna say, everyone that's been having issues with each other, we have it in Illinois too. So I got a lot of people on my list. But everyone that's in that place right now, can we just breathe in deeply and out, and another time, and just let it go.
Well, and what's important in what she's saying is that, unfortunately, there was trauma that occurred even before we got to this place of legalization. And then there's been trauma that has occurred going through the process and trying to actually remedy and why it is that they legalized it based on the war on drugs. It did the opposite. And now there's been other wars that have been created in that, like the social equity war. At this point, it's almost like a brand and a stamp, like real cheese. It means nothing.
I agree. We got to bring that good vibes and that energy right here.
Yeah. The smoke is just letting it go.
How do you just inhale the good shit and exhale?
And exhale the bad shit.
Take that moment to relax, calm down.
Yes, take back your energy, take back your power, take back your voice, and show up. Get involved, man. Support.
Get involved, man. That's it. Get involved.
Look at Lou.
Feel this vibe right now. This is really something else.
I'm not wearing tie-dye, just so y'all know.
No, but really, honestly, though, we have this issue also. You got the legacy market in the States, and you got the the MSOs, and there's just this giant battle happening right now between
Fuck the corporations.
Fuck the corporations. Obviously, fuck that. There's two middle fingers right up, right? But we have the problem, and this happens in all these states where you have so many people who claim to be legacy are trying to advocating, for the legacy market, but are working with the MSOs and misleading people on top of that. And then you problem is you got all these patients, right, who follow these people, and look, and in a way, some of them look up to them. You know what I mean? It's like that's like their cannabis guide, and then you find out it's a bad actor. Like what? This is a situation that's happening more and more and more. I keep finding out about every day. It feels like
if they're a bad actor, then change them. If they're not willing to change, don't fuck with them. If they're
how do we change the bad actors? I mean, they're already in deep.
Stop lobbying against us so that we can do our fucking work. Like this is gonna happen. It's just when it's gonna happen, and they can either be with us or they can still, be not with us. We're gonna keep going because there's more of us than them. And the more people we educate on this, the more they understand those people that you're talking about that are looking for help with this. Like there is so much information out there. Learn things and educate yourself. Yeah. And give your money to good people. Don't just stop feeding the beast.
Well, build the community at the end of the day, right? Get out of the way of building the community because really it starts there. Everyone has the ability to be their own bank if they so choose to be. If they understood really how to collectively, the word is collectively, meaning multiple together. And I think a lot of people forget what collective actually means.
Collaboration. We come from here, so we're all
okay. It's okay to not agree on everything. Matter of fact, you should desire that because then you're questioning and thinking outside the box. And as long as the synergy of the intention is there and the goal is the same, how you get there really isn't necessarily what you should hold on to.
Yeah, Lou, I mean, you're a great example of like being ethical and never wavering. And like, we're the same way. We don't
stand your ground.
Fuck with it. But however, and there are a lot of people that have already fucked with the devil and taken blood money. So they're going to have to, and I am not a religious person, repent somehow.
You're so funny.
Well, as a recovering Catholic, I really want to know what that repenting looks like. I want to know what shape that takes. I'm all for working together. What I need is I need to know how trust is going to be rebuilt. I need to know, the same thing like you're talking about holding the politicians accountable earlier. It's about the say-do ratio, right? You said last legislative session, you said the following, bip, 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 bip. It's now 1 year later. This has or has not happened, that kind of thing. And that's how some of these people are asking to be evaluated. And you know what? I will take that up in good faith. And I will, I will keep tabs on promises that are made and how much actually gets fulfilled and how much is just kind of blowing hot air.
That's how you get their ass out.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the most fair and equitable, transparent kind of way. Let someone say what they're about and then see if they're going to be about it or just speak about it. It really is that simple. So give someone the opportunity to prove you right or prove you wrong. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
Good point. That's a good point. It's a good point. We have there's a lot of work that needs to be done within the communities, within the government, within the collaboration of both. It's a nice word we need to use because eventually it feels like the two have to come together to work to figure out some kind of solution. Unless we're gonna literally just take over, which is what'd you say?
We're gonna just ignore it. Actually, I think we're just gonna kind of.
Well, that's been the history of our voting system, right? And how it is that we participate in politics as citizens. It's just I'm just gonna go this way, and then there's been a few of us that actually stand up and care, like at WJI with the organization that we were just at, and shout out to them and the work that they do, the Women's Justice Institute, and having people that are actually being willing to stand up against the system, being within the system. It takes multiple facets of people working together to actually enact, right, and exemplify it. And at the end of the day, it's a tandem dance. They're not going to read the fucking bill. They don't have time to read all that shit. But at the end of the day, the community, I'm seriously, but at the same time, the people have a duty to even utilize their voice and come together and draft the policy and legislation that they want so that everybody else can push it. Everybody has a role to play. Everybody.
And I'm someone who didn't even know what lobbying was 3 years ago. I'm gonna be real. I grew up in Houston, Texas. I've been in Chicago for 20 years. I'm a gay girl, so I was not really into politics for that reason in Texas. And then just stayed away from it because it's a lot. And so I'm waking up. I am waking up. So if you haven't woken up,
it's time to wake up. Absolutely. It's time for everyone to wake up. And not only that, it's time for everyone, if you have any comments, because I know comments have been coming in left and right on the Instagram and in chat. I'm trying to keep up with everything. Phone lines are open. You can call in.
Yes. Y'all call? Come on, call.
That's 860-384-7110. Phone lines are open. If you guys want to call in and ask questions, we have Anna, we got Vi, we got Lou in the house. Anything you want to ask, tables open, phone lines are open. 860-384-7110. Oh, there we go. 2B Blunt, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey guys, it's Joanna Lady J from Boston, Massachusetts. I'm done typing. I figured I'd call in.
Hey, peace and love, Queen. Peace and love.
What is going on, everybody?
What is up in Boston? Give us
like what you were saying about lobbying. You're not alone in that. I just learned about lobbying myself after going pre-pandemic to an open lobby day at the State House with our cannabis lobbyists. And I learned and followed and learned what they did that day. But I also learned something recently. You don't have to be a lobbyist to draft a bill with your local representative. So
period.
Need to do is sit down as a community, discuss what you guys want to see, and then your local representative has to write that bill. They have to help you. That is part of their job. That at least gets your foot into the door with your local government without having to deal with I don't know.
Well, at the end of the day, Joanna, I definitely appreciate you calling in to say that, because that is definitely one of the things that we push. I actually was a former lobbyist for Illinois cannabis. And one of the things that we push within True Social Equity and Cannabis and We the People is the people utilizing their voice, because you don't need a lobbyist. You are the lobbyist. We are community lobbyists. We all have a role to play with that. And it's not as hard as people think that it is. It really just about knowing what's happening in your local area, in your local community, in your township, in your city council, and caring about how it is that matriculates down to your street, your block, your schools, your hospitals, your children, your transportation, the cleanup. It all is involved together as one. And that's why we can all stand together against the 3 demands that we have going nationwide for this protest.
Yeah, so we are protesting 3 different locations, and Lou, I've actually been meaning to reach out to you to see if you could give me all the tea on all of the dispensaries that we're protesting, because we want to do like a little pamphlet we can hand out to people.
Hell yeah, I like that idea.
For sure.
Yeah, don't support this company because
just Google everyone in the States pretty much.
Oh yeah. But Vi is very particular, and she's like, we need to have like numbers and information. And I was like, loser.
Oh, damn.
Like, you got it already.
Yo, I like that. Fucking deep throat shit. Not deep throat, cutthroat. My bad, yo. That came out totally wrong, yo.
He said.
Fuck, yo.
Oh my God.
That's not weed, yo. Pat.
That's as far as we want to get down on them, though, actually. Yeah, we want them to feel the pain. And at first, when we had our lawsuit, one of the reasons why our attorneys actually felt like that it was a success for them was because some of the stock actually tanked about 70%. At the end of the day, that was not enough for us. It definitely is a cartel, an American cannabis cartel that's being created in this corporatized industrial corporate cannabis that we're watching. And we're definitely not going to let it continue on our watch and other watches that stand with us that are like-minded. So yeah, man, tap in, get in tune.
Amen. And I just got to say, that's the problem with Massachusetts is like, at least with our, like I was saying, with our medical program, there is no SE or EE licensing in our medical program. They made it so impossible that the only people that have medical marijuana are these huge corporate companies. We don't want to be supporting them, but yet we don't have any other outlets because there's no caregivers either. Like, it's a messed up situation. So as a patient, I can't even support a SE or EE craft cultivator if I wanted to without going to the adult use recreational side and paying taxes on top of paying an arm and a leg. So something's to give with either integrating the licensing or, like you said, free market,
You are what we are fighting for. You are literally what we are fighting for. And please join us, because this is a national protest. It's anyone who agrees with these demands that wants to do some kind of action. It can even be online. Just announce that that's what it is, and that's what it is. And you are.
Yeah, so we'll be starting a national petition with these demands as well. And so you guys will be able to find it on our website. And we'll definitely release that to you guys to let you guys know. But it's time for us to actually put the groundwork in so that we can get on a national level and lift our voices to really let the political system know that this is not going to happen, and present the bills that we want to present. Sorry, the train is coming.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys for letting me call in. I'm going to continue watching, and yeah, thanks.
Thanks, Joanna. Appreciate it.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Joanna,
I know, right? That was dope. 860-384-7110. Phone lines are open. We are live with True Social Equity and Cannabis, Anna and Vi and Lou Rinaldi live. If you guys got any questions, any comments, anything you want to talk about, feel free to call in. We are live right now.
So Lou, wait, I haven't talked to you in a while, and I just wanted to catch up. So how have you been? What's been going on? And Peezy, I don't even know your name, Peezy. I want to know more about you too, Mr. Host, man.
Peezy?
Peezy.
Yeah, not to be confused with the candy, the Pez. That's
although that would be a dope Pez dispenser, a Peezy Pez dispenser.
Right, dude. My head just expands, my mouth wide. I'll pop the joint. It'd be dope. Instead
pre-roll
of a joint, or you got a pre-roll pops out. That'd be dope. Oh, a pre-roll dispenser.
That's actually the sad part, though, for me, is that there's so many different states that really have no idea what's coming to them, and you have these already now conglomerates that are going into these smaller states and buying up the land and not educating the people and putting out bad propaganda, so that at the end of the day they have to wait for this disparity study to come out and follow these proper channels that still lead them to the end of the day that the equity is disproportionate.
So,
go ahead.
Lou, I want to know also what your definition of true social equity, both of you, what your definition of true social equity in cannabis should look like. I think we've given it away earlier. But.
I wanna just piggyback on something Victoria said real quick. BlackRock is now involved in the gobbling up of properties that are zoned for cannabis, and continuing to do in the cannabis space what they've been doing in the housing space, which is to drive prices to a point that is going to further remove it from the reach of the majority of American people.
They call that gentrification, everyone, for the nice
right.
word.
That's right. BlackRock, yeah. So it's one of the things. I'll give a shout out to Stacy in Detroit, Stacy Base 85. She's going through some stuff right now. I just wanted to give her some love. She was on a show. She was on a show where they talked about this. How there's an actual there's a website. I wish I could remember it off the top of my head, but there's a website where you can actually go and see. You can search by state and see exactly how many of these properties have been gobbled up by this conglomerate.
Wow.
And you can watch how they're using real estate to achieve that goal. So that was what I wanted to say in response to what Vi had said. To answer Anna's question about my definition.
I'm saging for you, Stacy. I'm saging.
We love you, Stace. We love you. In response to Anna's question about my definition of true social equity in cannabis, I think before you do anything else, 100% before you do anything else, you have to make right and whole, those things that have been damaged, those people, those lives, those families, those legacies that have been damaged, through all the years. So that means immediately, not just deschedule so that it's not, federally it's not criminal. There has to be a way to force states to also do that expungement and to free nonviolent cannabis prisoners, expunge their related convictions, both at the state and federal level. That to me is
we
job
say amnesty
one.
only because expungement still holds it onto the records, and so they're still have to deal with that cycle that can still lead them right back to where they came from, because it's still part of the system. So amnesty is the word that I try to push for people to utilize, because it clears the record completely.
Thank you for the knowledge. Peezy, you got to understand, this is why I look to these two ladies as like a North Star for so much of this, because I'm still learning as I go. I don't claim to be an expert by any means. I just try to pay attention and try to connect dots where I can. But what I think, that's job one, is the amnesty piece. And then job two is, I do believe in prioritization for people who were directly harmed. And I do believe in letting them be at the front of the line. And I don't feel bad about that. I think that's...
And you shouldn't.
If it's a free market, there's no front of the line. It's everyone.
No, I'm sorry, but at the end of the day, there still should, as long as you're legalizing it based on the war on drugs, then those directly affected, abso-fucking-100-lutely, should definitely be able to have the resources and the assistance that they need, because they're the ones that are still being left out and divested and losing out still to this day.
Yes.
And then
it has to be structured. Yeah, it has to be structured in a way that's going to, whether it's through extended exclusivity agreements or whether it's through certain percentages. It has to be a formula that's going to stand up regardless of market conditions and external market pressures. It has to be something that's going to survive people trying to fuck with it and game it, because they're going to. So it has to be
not generational wealth at that point, that they
exactly
again legalized it and said that the opportunity for that was going to be created. Show me where it has been. I have yet to see it.
And then once you've done those two things, then I think you do make it a truly, ease of entry for micro tier. If someone wants to get in at the micro tier and they want to, like was said earlier, and they want to be able to just not look over their shoulder constantly, and they're fine with paying taxes, and they just want to be able to, have a space in the market that they're not completely boxed out of.
Reasonable taxes.
Yeah, reasonable. It has to be worth doing. Yeah.
Well, the taxes, I thank you for that, worth doing, because they have to go to things that are actually going to create a thriving community and a thriving state funding that's there, that goes to education, that goes to the healthcare, that goes to transportation, that goes to cleanup, that goes to mental health, that goes to, all these other things that we need so that we can continue to grow and utilize our higher mind versus our survival mind. We're wasting our damn time sitting up here focused on the wrong shit. Yes.
That's so crucial. I spoke with someone today who said we need to stop talking about social equity and we need to start talking about societal equity. We need to talk about the net outcomes, and the benefits to society, to the people, to we the people.
I love that.
You brought that up, and someone asked on here that they said, so social equity, that's true to its name, isn't racial equity, right? I don't know what that
interesting name.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he means by that.
I mean, either, because it's I'm not understanding the question.
Exactly, me either.
That's
social
true
equity
to its name.
Is the
racial
rules
equity
that the government put on whatever state to have you qualify as social equity. That's what social equity is.
And in
equity that's
it's
disseminated socially that can be affected by the community that felt the oppression in the social thriving. If you want to look at the definition and how it is that it should be appropriated to actually stand in its name. How does that affect racially? Well, when you look at the divide and the economic flow, be it in education or the prison industrial complex, then you can see that the racial divide that's created. But then that's a systemic thing when you want to take it and extrapolate it even further than that, and how it is that that oppression has happened to a specific group of people, and then based in the system, all of us that walk in trauma, which is why we're self-medicating, and recreation is just some capitalistic corporate greed.
I'm so confused by these comments.
So Illinois, no, I get it. So Illinois the governor said he was going to bring generational wealth to the Black and brown community, which is why racial, like that, if you're Black and brown, you should be getting more licenses. But what happened is Black and brown people did get licenses, but a lot of them and most of them were connected to the government already. And
and the ones that weren't had to fight and claw their way too, not only just in the legal system, but even just to have it and to hold on to it. And some of them are still fighting to keep what it is that they have.
All of them are
struggling in a major way, which is why Illinois also has most of their licenses up for sale.
See, and that's the thing. I mean, everyone we talked about, every group, everything like this should be everyone should have a fair chance who's been affected by cannabis, and all these affected areas and all these people struggling right now just to get in should have a fair chance, especially if you were affected by it. I mean, I feel like even more so because it's so close to home. You know what I mean?
So everyone should be able to get in. just a fair chance. Everyone should be able to get in, and the people who were harmed by the war on drugs should be getting compensation in some way.
Yes, agreed.
Or
yes.
like don't have to pay taxes for a while. Like
very least.
Let's just.
I think the access to capital, access to real estate, I think is also an issue. I've heard it said a lot lately that we should be enabling folks, to Anna's point about anyone who wants access to the market should be able to get it. The only way that that's going to happen is if they allow people to start up these businesses in their garage kind of thing, in a scenario where you don't have to be, incredibly well capitalized just to be able to get a foot in the door, not even to be guaranteed a license, but just to be able to try to get a license. You have to be so well capitalized and so well connected. If you're really going to democratize the market, then you have to make it so that, people can pursue these businesses and these initiatives that they want to start up in a way that's going to be achievable and attainable regardless of your socioeconomic status. You should be able to have resources available to you. And if you're in certain situations, I think that yes, your efforts should be subsidized by MSOs, particularly around lab testing. I think if that's going to be a requirement in states and you're going to have micro businesses, that you should have those MSOs be subsidizing those costs for the micro folks. But you really we need to reconsider the impact of capital and particularly of the properly zoned real estate, because we're seeing, like was said, licenses up for sale in Illinois. Licensees in New Jersey are running into the same situation now, where they all the possible spots have already been gobbled up.
Businesses being sold or shut down in Oklahoma, who tried to attempt within, creating this free open market, but we see the downfalls with that as well.
So, okay, let's think about like how we change presidents, right? So one day we have a president and the next day they win and we have another president, kind of, right? So what if we woke up and the next day all the shit was decriminalized and
I was
people
just here to get to that. Thank you.
What they are doing
Good
and
segue.
tax on it and be good.
Well, because going back to your question, Peezy, when you were talking about how do we get there, decriminalizing is one of the first ways in which you get there. Because once you decriminalize it, I'm Black in America, so being profiled probably ain't never gonna stop until we end white supremacy. That's first and foremost.
Yeah.
But that's definitely one way in order to cut down on us being restricted and feeling like we're not able in order to do our business out in the open. Right? We should be able to do that and not have any penalties or restrictions or being locked up or being raided, if you will, for us being able to do our commerce.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And listen, I just wanted to say thank you, Anna and Vi, for coming on. Lou, of course.
Peace and love. Peace and love.
Also, I appreciate you guys coming on the show. I appreciate y'all coming on the show. My bad.
Yes.
I'm gonna do that.
We overtalk because we could definitely do that. This is something that we just it's just who it is that we are to do this. This work is thankless and it's also payless because we fight for the people. At the end of the day, free the people, free the plant. So get in where it is that in your local, state that's actually joining in on this protest. If it's not, get in touch because we come into a state near you.
Hell yeah! If you guys end up coming to Connecticut, make sure you hit me and Lou up. Because
For sure.
Yeah. We thought we were going to be there around now, and then my cat got cancer and shit happened.
And then life.
Yeah.
And I would love to have y'all back, so stay in touch. Make sure y'all follow them on social media at True Social Equity in Cannabis on Instagram. Thank you, Anna, Vi, and Lou. Appreciate it. To Be Blood, I appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in tonight. Much love, and for all the comments and everything else. It was popping tonight. Absolutely popping. So many good topics brought up. You guys were awesome in the chat, and y'all killed it tonight. Y'all just absolutely killed it. So just want to say thank you. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, follow us on social media at 2B Blunt Podcast, www.2bbluntpodcast.com. And you know the drill. We'll see you next week. Same weed time, same weed channel.